Hello and welcome to the questing special. In today's episode, we are going to be banging out what I assume will be the most quests that we are going to do in one single video. The reason for this is because we have to complete Song of the Elves, and in order to complete Song of the Elves, we have to complete Desert Treasure. Now, the reason for that is because in order to beat the Saren fight, I am more than likely going to need Blood Blitz, as I am a very low level, and even if I wasn't a low level, it's hard to complete anyways. That being said, in order to complete Desert Treasure, I have to complete all of the quests that are on screen now. And once I complete all of those quests and Desert Treasure, I will be moving on to all of these quests right here, which once completed will allow me to do Song of the Elves. If you've got a keen eye, you've probably already noticed that I'm in the area to complete the Tourist Trap quest. I was in the middle of doing the quest, and then I realized I should probably record an intro for this video. So here it is. This is the intro. I hope you enjoy the video today. And yeah, let's get right into the gameplay. That seems like a fair trade. He gets to be absolutely dripped out in the desert clothing, and I get the slave clothes. The best part about recording that intro is I got to let my run go back from 16 to 100, so that felt really nice because I did not want to be walking around for this entire quest. You know, with the number of quests that we actually have to complete today, I'm just so thankful that we have Quest Helper, man. It makes things so much easier. It's pretty much just like a click blue box simulator, other than the boss fights, obviously, but definitely has made the questing life so much easier. And honestly, I don't even dislike quests anymore. So shout out to the person who developed the Quest Helper. Darts, pineapple, pay off the guard with a pineapple, enter the cave, grab the barrel, put Anna in the barrel, put her in the minecart, join her in the minecart, and reunite her with her mother. That's quest 1 out of the way. Next up on our list is the Death Plateau quest, and this one's going to be a quick one. Talk to the gambling man, talk to the castle man, talk to the gambling man again, gamble, talk to the caveman, talk to the mountain man, talk to the anvil man, talk to the tent man, talk to the anvil man again, fish some trout, talk to the mountain man again, talk to the tent man again, and quest completed. Now it's time for Death Plateau's sequel, the Troll Stronghold. First, you safe spot this guy, then you safe spot this guy, you pickpocket this guy, you pickpocket this guy, and then you talk to this guy, and the quest is completed. Sorry to interrupt this video, however, I have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is the subscribe button. If you have been enjoying the series up to this point, or this is your first episode and you're enjoying today's content, definitely consider hitting that button as we are fast approaching 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for taking the time to do that, and enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so next up on the list is the Temple of Ikov quest, and for that quest, I am going to need a U shortbow. Now, I could obviously just go ahead and get 65 fletching, as I only need 2 levels to get there. However, I'm in a bit of a rush, so I'm going to go kill an angry barbarian spirit in the ancient cavern until I get a U shortbow drop, which I believe is about a 1 in 43. It really did not take me very long to realize that angry barbarian method, definitely not worth it. Going to get 65 fletching. And with those arrows right there, we are 65 fletching, and we can now finally make that U shortbow. There we have it, the U shortbow finally complete, and now we can go ahead and do the Temple of Ikov. And we start this quest off by talking to Mr. Lucian, I don't know how to pronounce that properly, in the Arty pub, so let's get down to it. If I remember correctly, I think that this part of the quest is honestly one of the worst parts of any quest, because of how unlikely it is that you actually get arrows. And when you do, you don't get 20, you get like 3 or 4 at a time, dude. So you fail a ton, and then when you do succeed, you still actually just fail. It's honestly ridiculous, but anyways. Oh, what an amazing sound that was, but unfortunately, I got 1 arrow out of that box. Guys, I'm just praying that I don't run out of prayer points before I get 20 arrows and have to come all the way back here, man. Oh, what a beautiful sound. Yet again, another singular arrow, though. We are getting absolutely destroyed right now. Okay, we're getting 3 arrows out of that chest, a new PB. This is definitely a super weird part of any quest, man. Like, just RNG in this way is so unusual to me, but Oh, man. I will say, though, that's probably one of the nicest sounds ever, because you know that at least when you hear that sound, you're getting something real special, even though half the time it's just one ice arrow. Oh, there it is again. The beautiful sound. We're up to 9. 9 out of 20. Also, whoever put the ice spiders in here absolutely hates us early game players. Oh my god. Yes! I got all the arrows that I need. Okay. Return back to the entry room. So I'm just going to teleport out. I'm going to get my run back, and then we're going to go back. All right, it's time to mess this guy up and finish this freaking quest, man. Bro, why does this guy sound like Jad? Bro, he sounds like Jad or something, bro. And there it is. Despite the Temple of Ikov typically being like a 10-minute quest, it unfortunately took us multiple hours to complete due to the fletching detour, but we did end up ending with 65 fletching and a quest completed, so that's awesome. Now we have all of the prerequisites completed, all the prerequisite quests are completed for Desert Treasure, and we are now capable of going ahead and doing that quest, so that's what's next on the list. Let's get to it. During the Desert Treasure quest, there are a handful of items that I am going to need. One of those items is 12 magic logs, and I could go ahead and get 75 wood cutting, but I feel like that would be quite tedious to do, and honestly just feel like I could avoid that by going ahead and catching some nature implings in my favorite place in the world, Puro. So I go ahead and like I said, catch nature implings, and I think they have a 1 in 10 chance of dropping, it's either 1 or 2 magic logs. So I just repeat that 1 to 12 times, and then I'll have all of the magic logs that I need for the quest. There's actually no way. So I opened the first nature impling jar, and I end up getting a hard clue scroll from the first one. I feel like I might as well do these hard clues as I get them, because I do want to end up getting the Fremennik kilt, the ranger hat, or the Robin Hood hat, and the ranger tunic eventually anyway. So I might as well send it, and you know, you never know what I'll get. So let's see if we can end up doing it anyways. Okay, so an interesting development in the situation. I got about 3 steps into the hard clue. I think that's where we're at. Let me take a look. Yeah, so 3 steps into the hard clue, and the 4th step was to go talk to Fairy Queen in the Fairy Resistance hideout. I thought that I could go do that before completing the quest, but I can't. However, I've just had the realization that I'm actually capable of completing Fairy Tale Part 2 and not gaining any defense XP, because that quest doesn't give you any. I was under the impression that the quest did give you def XP, which is why you only unlock the fairy rings. But the reason that you don't complete the quest is that there's no real huge gain from it. So anyways, the huge gain for me right now, however, is I'll be able to do a hard clue step permanently. And given the fact that there's probably tons of clue steps that I'm going to have to drop, this is one that I should definitely unlock anyways. So I might as well go ahead and do it now. The Cosmic Entity Plane. This has got to be one of the craziest places on all of RuneScape. I can't believe I went my whole childhood without knowing about this. I mean, I went my whole life without knowing about this place until like a year ago when I completed this quest on my main, maybe like 2 years ago. But either way, definitely a super trippy place. I feel like this is definitely where Joe Rogan comes when he's high on DMT. And there it is, Fairy Tale Part 2, which is a quest I never thought I would complete on this account, has now been completed. Oh, would you look at that? The second hard clue scroll ever on this account, and we get 2 new uniques. That's awesome, man. Hey, so I came here to catch these nature implings, which I've already got a magic log from. Like I mentioned, that's what I'm looking for. However, I also need to get rune bars for Song of the Elves. I just need 1, actually, sorry. And you get those from magpies. I just caught my 3rd one and already got them, and there were 1 in 20. So that is absolutely huge. Something that I no longer have to think about. And here we are at the start of the Desert Treasure 1 quest. Super excited to get this one off the list. Let's get down to business.
Round 1. Fight!
And there it is, the Smoke Diamond. It has been acquired, and we now only need 3 more to complete the set. I'm currently on my way to get the Shadow Diamond, and I just came across these absolute Giga Chads right here. I have no idea what they're up to, but they're dressed the exact same, and they say they're questing, so it kind of seems like they're just a couple of buddies reliving the glory days. Pulled a bit of a dumb move, forgot to restart the recorder, and now I'm missing the remaining half of the Desert Treasure quest, but here we are at the very end of the quest, and the quest is now completed. Now that we've completed Desert Treasure, it is time to start knocking out Song of the Elves prereqs. Big chompy bird hunting, definitely a quick one. Next up on our list is everybody's favorite quest, the Underground Pass.
Success! 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 Success!
Wow, that is absolutely insane. I just did the entire Underground Pass quest without failing a singular shortcut. That's got to be some kind of record, dude, because I only have 72 agility. And like I said, I didn't fail a single shortcut. Most people resent this quest because of that exact fact, because you fail the shortcuts so often. So I am absolutely blessed to have gotten to get through that whole quest without failing. But I unfortunately, on the other hand, probably just spent the entirety of my RNG at the underground pass. And we're not wasting a second of time, right into the regicide quest. Let's get this thing completed. Okay, I finally failed an obstacle in the underground pass. At least we now know that they didn't patch it for my account or something like that. You can still fail. I just have insane RNG. Bro, what the hell? That dude just disappeared. I've been prayer flicking this guy for like 8 straight minutes, and now he's just suddenly disappears. I guess I'm just going to continue on with the quest and see what happens. I mean, it let me move on to the next guard, so I'm assuming that I guess the game just registered that as me completing that part of the quest, so that's awesome. Okay, so I actually just killed this one. I only had to prayer flick him for about 5 minutes and 30 seconds, as opposed to, like I said, about 8 minutes for the last dude. So I guess I must just hit the despawn timer with the last guy, and that caused him to disappear, but still, I got credit for it, so that's awesome. And there is the regicide quest complete. Just a handful more quests, and we are going to be starting Song of the Elves, man. Absolutely insane. I'm here talking to Isluin. I probably just chalked his name, but he is the person that I need to talk to start roving elves, and I believe this is a bit of a quick one, so let's get it done. All right, here's the exciting climax of roving elves. We're planting the crystal tree. And there we go. Roving elves completed. Another one off the list, and we're just one step closer to being able to complete Song of the Elves. So just before starting the Roving Elves quest, I decided to spam through the dialogue with the guy that you start the quest with. And unfortunately, the dialogue that I opened up was the one to buy a shield or a bow. And I decided to buy myself a nice crystal shield by accident, which I think costed me like 500 or 600k. But yeah, so rip that money. I can alch this for 150k, but I can't wear it because I need 70d for it. So definitely going to be alching that for some GP. And yeah, RIP that 500 or 600k. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Morning's End Part 1 has been completed. We are now just left with Morning's End Part 2, which is a very long quest, and from what I understand, quite tedious. Fortunately, when I did it on my other account, it didn't seem too bad because it was a main, but I think it's going to be much more annoying on this account since I'm a UIM. But we'll get through it like we do everything else. And then we're going to finish up with Song of the Elves, which is the reason why we are questing our cheeks off, and the thing that I was most excited about the day that I made my account. So I'm super, super excited about this. And that actually, I didn't really notice, but that marks exactly 100 quest points. So very cool. Yo, Jagex isn't wasting any time, dude. I exited the interface for the last quest completion, and it instantly just started a dialogue for me to start the next quest. So I guess we're booting that up right away. And here we are at everybody's favorite part of Morning's End Part 2, the Temple of Light. This place is so much fun. I can't wait to do this part. Let's go. Crystal number 1, crystal number 2, crystal number 3, crystal number 4. And here we are. We finally arrived at the dwarf, which means we've completed the Temple of Light. However, we have not completed this quest quite yet. We have the most annoying part of the quest actually coming up for a UIM. And the reason that it's annoying for UIMs is because you have to gather a list of 50 different items and traverse all the way back to this area and give those items to the dwarf. Now, the worst part about it is that I only have like 14, maybe 15 inventory slots that I'm working with right now. And like I said, there's 50 items. So that means I'm going to have to make about 4 trips to back to the dwarf with the items, all while also going around the map and gathering the items. So this is going to actually take at least an hour. All right, so that's trip 1 out of the way. And if you look in the top left corner, you'll see that it says turn the middle pillar to point back east, or you'll have to return via the underground pass. I neglected to read that message on this first trip, and therefore I had to return via the underground pass. Therefore, this trip took way longer than it should have. Anyways, I'm just excited to get the next couple out of the way so that we can move on and finish this freaking quest. That's trip number 2. 2 down, 2 to go. That's trip 3 out of the way. And there we go. All of that just so that we could get this death talisman. Let's finish this freaking quest. Wow, man. Amazing. That quest took way longer than it should have. I think on a main account you can do that in about an hour, maybe a little bit less, but due to the talisman at the end, it actually took me 2 hours and 10 minutes to complete the quest. So Definitely a lot longer than it would take on a main, but I'm just so glad to be done. And now we can finally move on to the quest that we've been waiting for this entire video, Song of the Elves. I got a little bit ahead of myself, and I'm just now realizing that I actually need to quickly complete the Making History quest, and then I will have every requirement necessary for Song of the Elves. Boom, nice and easy. Making History has been complete. Doing that quest directly after Morning's End Part 2 definitely made it feel much quicker too. And so it begins. Song of the Elves has been started. This is going to be an insane quest, and I'm so excited to get it completed so that we can move on to the long-term goal, the Corrupted Gauntlet. Compared to the previous quests that we've completed in this episode, Song of the Elves has a very complex storyline. In the beginning of the quest, we have to free Elena from the prison in the basement of the Ardoin castle, as she has been imprisoned by the guards of Ardi for making people aware of the fact that the plague was a lie. The reason that King Lathis and his companions created this lie in the first place was to shield the public from becoming aware of the Temple of Light. If the public was kept in the dark about the Temple of Light and the fact that it was key to bring back the Dark Lord, King Lathis would be able to carry out his plan without pushback from the people of Ardoin. Elena and her resistance, however, had other plans. Upon meeting with the resistance, we are invited to join in on their plan to stir up the public and cause a riot against the government. Councillor Hallgriv, a member of the Resistance, first requests that we dress up as an Ardi Knight and upset the public on what appears to be the King's orders. After converting 80 members of the Ardi community into Resistance members, the riots begin with a fight against the Mourners of West Ardi. Once the Mourners are successfully dealt with, the Resistance regroups and plans their next attack on the Knights of Ardoin. Yet another successful battle takes place and we defeat the Ardi Knights, bringing us to King Lathis. Now, King Lathis was dealt with in classic monarchy fashion. If you took any history classes back in the day, you would have learned about, the French Revolution and the way that kings were beheaded and so on and so forth. And, King Lathis was no exception to this rule. The public had their way with him, and they were happy to see him go. Now that I've given a backstory on the beginning of the quest, the remainder will be told in a TLDR Reddit post style. Elena and I are captured by Lord Ironworth, and then Arianwen shows up and saves us. We then meet with King Backstorian to try to learn more about the Fragment of Seren, which Lord Ironworth is trying to free via the Temple of Light. For those of you unfamiliar, the Fragment of Seren is the boss that is killed at the end of this quest. At this point in the quest, we unfortunately had to take a detour to the Dagonoths in order to burst them for a Cadentine Seed. Let's fricking go, dude. We got the Cadentine Seed after 340 Dagonoth kills, so relatively close to the drop rate, just about 110 over. Quite happy with that. Now we can continue on with Song of the Elves. After bursting the Dagonoths for the Cadentine Seed, I unfortunately forgot to restart the recorder. At this point in time, I was preparing for the attack against Letya. However, before this moment, I had created the inversion potion and was selected to enter into the Grand Library and solve the light puzzle similar to the one found in Morning's End Part 2, where we find out information about Seren and the Fragment of Seren. As you can tell by my lackluster range setup, I unfortunately did not deal much damage during this fight, and it took me a grand total of 8 minutes. After successfully defending the attack on Letya, it was time to defend the attack on the camp inside the underground pass, which actually proved to be an insane challenge. Fortunately, there's a man named Rendimento, aka Rendi, who's an absolute legend and completed this count on a level 45. Utilizing his method, I was able to breeze through this part of the quest and move on to the fight against Esilt. Yet again, another play out of the Rendi playbook, I managed to kill Esilt without taking any damage by simply flinching him on these cannonballs. Now, although my character in-game didn't take any damage, unfortunately my mental health did, because this fight took a grand total of 17 minutes of flinching. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived at the hardest challenge yet on the account, the final fight of Song of the Elves. So, here goes nothing. So we're not really off to the best start. I've only dealt 50 damage so far, and I'm down a brew and a half, and almost an entire super restore. I'm pretty worried so far. All right, at this point, she literally has more than half of her health left, and I only have 4 brews. I'm definitely not completing this kill. Sadly, that is going to do it, man. I've got to teleport out here. I'm out of food, and the first attempt was a failure. But we're going to re-gear and try again. All right, so managed to get some brews, some restores. This time I decided to take some sharks and some darts because I accidentally left my darts on the floor last time. I decided to send the boss anyways. So hopefully this time around we succeed. If we don't, man, I don't know what I'm going to do, bro. I don't know what I'll do. I think I'm going to have to try to find ways to upgrade my magic gear. And then also I have brews in my inventory, which I don't need to have. So hopefully this time I succeed. And if I don't, then there'll be a couple of minor changes that I'm going to have to make to my approach. And we'll send it a third time. But hopefully everything goes well this time. Let's see what happens. Shoot, I forgot to start the recorder off rip, but we're hitting really, really well right now. I'm still in the first phase and we have 90 HP hit, so that's much better than the first attempt. Oh, I had that on def. I had that on def, bro. Oh my god, no way. I just gained a def XP. I'm hitting really well this time around, so this is a great attempt so far. I really think the mage accuracy prayer is helping me right now. I mean, I have her down 400 HP, and my supplies right now is looking really good. So this is a great attempt compared to the last one. Come on, man. Keep hitting, please. Please keep hitting. If I can do it this attempt, my life would be made so much easier. If I keep the exact pace that I have right now, I'll complete this fight. It's just really, it all boils down to RNG in this fight. There's no real skill in this fight. It's a very easy boss. I guess the only skillful thing is actually this right here. Getting that down instantly instead of letting it sit for a while. I think the fight continually gets tougher too as you progress through it. So it's like, if she gets 4 healers every round now, my odds of success are lowering. Oh, this is so sad, man. So sad. Like, I just couldn't hit, and it's causing me to lose. Oh, I'm actually dead right now. Wow. I almost just died. Unfortunate. Failed attempt. All right, so like I said before that fight, if I didn't complete it on the second attempt, I would find a way to increase my chances. And the first way that I'm going to go ahead and do that is by upgrading my magic gear. As it stands, I am not using magic gear. I'm using monk robes, or I was, and I was using a white cavalier because I didn't have any magic gear. I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and just grab some ghostly gear. I mean, obviously I should have done this earlier. I just thought, like, I mean, on the first attempt, I thought it would be fine. Like, I didn't really know what to expect. After the first attempt, obviously I knew that I made some mistakes in the early phase, and I was hoping that RNG would be in my favor. Obviously, RNG is not on my side, so I need to maximize the likelihood of success. And the way that, like I said, I'm going to be at least adding to my odds is by grabbing some ghostly. So I'm going to go ahead and do the, I forget what it's called, something Curse of the Father. Let me take a look here. The Curse of the Empty Lord. I'm going to do that mini quest, and I'm going to grab all the ghostly gear, and that's going to give me at least a slight increase in my magic attack bonus, which obviously just gives me accuracy. But in this case, accuracy is obviously important, and hopefully the magic, or the ghostly robe, sorry, play a large enough role to get me through this. Because honestly, bro, I just can't be asked to do any more of this. I want to just go and get to the gauntlet so that I can be going ahead and getting spoon that enhance, man. All right, so the inventory is filled with everything I need. I decided to get a little risky with it and brought the bank out and grabbed the Mage Arena 1 cape. Got it safely. No encounters with any other players or PKers. And now it is time to send the third, and what I'm hoping is the final attempt of the Saren final boss fight in Song of the Elves. Let's make it happen, guys. For this third attempt, I decided to stream the fight to my friends in case they caught anything that I was doing wrong. That being said, there's no live audio for the clip until the very end. This could be a go. Hit. Yes, that's it. I hit it. I hit it. Let's go, boys. Oh my god.
Oh my
no idea what just
god.
happened, but it sounded like it was good.
Oh, it was good, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally did it. I know I'm way over the top excited about a Saren kill, but you guys got to understand that I started this quest today at 2:30 p.m. or sorry, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and it is 3:16 a.m. and I've logged out for a collective 30 minutes. I've been doing this quest for 12 hours. 12 hours, man. This has been absolutely insane. I know 12 hours sounds insane, but when you're doing attempts like I was doing, you're on the ancient spellbook. You can't teleport around the map, so I walked around the map. I walked from Edgeville to Remington to get to my player-owned house 7 or 8 times. Like, anyways, enough with the ramble. Just so happy to be completed Song of the Elves. As I've mentioned many times throughout the series, this has been the #1 goal that I've had on this account since its conception, and I'm just so happy to finally have it complete. Let's go let's go finish up the quest and see what we get as a reward here. Wow, so amazing. So much XP. so much time and energy, and we have on our screens the congratulations interface for Song of the Elves. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. Feels amazing. And there it is, folks. After 5 full episodes of the 13 Defense Ultimate Iron Man Pure from scratch, we've achieved one of the main goals that we set out to accomplish since the conception of this account. I am so happy to be standing here in the Elven lands of Prifddinas, giving this outro, as, like I said, this is one of the main things that I set out to do. My main inspiration, once again, my boy Skimmy, the 1D Ultimate Iron Man that I met while grinding out Corrupted Gauntlet on my main. He was the reason that I made this account, and he was the reason that I set the goal of getting here so that I could eventually grind out the Gauntlet and get some of those amazing crystal items. So we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. We finally accomplished that goal, and in the next video, you guys will get to see some of the most exciting content that you have seen thus far in the series, as we will be grinding out to hopefully get spooned the enhanced crystal weapon seed. I am so excited for that next episode, and I will see you then.